Won't you give a big hand for errors, applause for mistakes? Without them we wouldn't be here. Let's hear it for inexactitude, for imprecision, bravo, for fudging it, hip hip, 3 cheers. DNA of twisted double helix fame is an expert at that self-replication game. But once in a million times it goes wrong, and thanks to that we're singing the song. Won't you give a big hand for errors, applause for mistakes? Without them we wouldn't be here. Let's hear it for inexactitude, for imprecision, bravo, for fudging it, hip hip, 3 cheers. If that new mutation hits an egg or seed, which managed to combine together and then lead to one new fungus, plant or beast, that baby will be a little different at least. That mutation will probably reduce our new pal's ability to reproduce. But every now and then a mutation arrives, gives you a better chance of making more lives. Big hand for errors, applause for mistakes. Without them we wouldn't be here. Let's hear it for inexactitude, for imprecision, bravo, for fudging it, hip hip, 3 cheers. When the kids inherit that mutated gene, they're fitter than they otherwise might have been. To have more kids themselves and pass it on, and so it spreads through.
Hey everyone, it's Kim Barnes-Jefferson here of the Fabulous Fit Squad, and you are watching Fab Fit TV. I am a healthy living expert and fitness coach, and I help women fall back in love with themselves and their bodies. I believe that anything is possible. And that there is a healthy person inside each and every one of us. And once we get over the obsession and the perfection, all of a sudden the results will come and our true selves will reveal itself to us. And it will become, staying healthy, in my mind, should be as easy as sleeping. One of the reasons why I wanted to started the show was because I really wanted to talk about all the myths, the misconceptions, and just all the noise that we hear around healthy living, eating, working out, blah, 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 blah. And I was having a conversation with my Facebook group, and I said, well, what's your biggest challenge right now? And one woman said, I don't know what the hell to eat. And I was like, interesting, I never thought of it that way. And I like it when people just kind of bring back like the basics, like what do I eat? And I feel like nowadays, so many people wear what they eat like a brand, like you would wear like a Nike shirt, or you would wear like a polo shirt. It's like, I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I'm paleo, I'm pescatarian, like whatever you are, like probably within the first kind of 30 seconds, it's kind of like part of that elevator pitch, if you will. You tell me what you are, like what your food are, or you're dairy free or gluten free or whatever free. And I just feel like it gets people stuck if they don't fall into any one of those categories. They feel like, well, I'm not really down with the vegan, but should I be? I'm not really down with like the dairy free, but should I be? And you start to question and wonder, like, what should I be? What should I do? And I got you. So tonight we're going to talk about that. Like, how do you break it down? How do you figure out what you need versus what you're hearing, versus what you read, versus what's in a plan. And, you know, if you are looking for that silver bullet, that quick fix, do this for X number of days and you're going to be some hot thing, I'm not your girl. There's no such. There's no, I guess, you know, fountain of weight loss. You know, everyone's looking for the fountain of youth. They haven't found that yet. And there's no fountain of weight loss. It's work. And I'm here to tell you, you've got to do the work. You do the work consistently and in a way that you feel is sustainable, boom, you're going to get results. But if you're going for that quick fix, you're going for the, you know, lose 10 pounds in 10 minutes, you're going to struggle because you might do that, but then it's going to come back. You know, the biggest place I could always say is Oprah. Oprah, you know, went on this big thing. She was going to get to a size 10 jean. She did it. And then look at her now. Is she in that size 10 jean? No, she went so dramatic, so hardcore, and it just wasn't sustainable for her. And she lost her stuff and put the weight back on. And, you know, she openly talks about her struggles, openly. So instead of seeking that outside validation of what to eat, let's start looking at the inside. Let's start listening to what this is telling us, because our bodies talk to us. We just need to learn their language. I wish Berlitz had one that you can learn how to do it in 30 easy days, but your body's a little bit more subtle about what it talks to you. And so here are 3 clues. And one of my mentors kind of came up with these like 3 benchmarks of how do you listen to your body? And it's brilliant because it's very basic and it's very simple. And what it requires of you is to listen to your body and to track and to log. Now, I know some of you will just snoozed off, like, oh Lord. But I gotta tell you, when I first started tracking my food, I had to use a calorie count book. Then I had to put it into a spreadsheet and calculate stuff. And that just was like, made me bonkers. But nowadays, on this little thing right here, I got MyFitnessPal. There's so many other apps that I can literally scan a barcode. I ate that and be done. And it's really simple and it's really easy. But I'm not tracking calories. I'm not tracking macros. I'm just tracking, I put this in my mouth. And then I'm tracking, how did I feel by putting that in my mouth? So what I'm looking for, I'm looking for 3 things. When I ate, did I feel hungry? Or how soon after I ate did I feel hungry? Because you want to feel satiated. So if I ate something and 20 minutes later I was like, well, what's the next? That wasn't a good food for me. That food wasn't very satisfying. So I would know that, okay, if I eat, say for me, bananas and egg whites. If I eat just egg whites, my body's like, what else you got? I need to couple that with other things. I just can't have like an egg white omelet and spinach. Like my body would just be like, and so that's what I know because I tracked. There's no egg whites aren't bad. Spinach isn't bad. Those are great foods, but not for me. I also track my energy. So the energy one is a little tricky because sometimes we have our kind of habits. So for me, when I was working in corporate, 4 o'clock was my like getting itchy hour, and I would feel like I would need something. And I would go and get a cup of coffee. That was my way of breaking boredom. That was my way of wasting time between the time that I could leave. So I want you to think about when you talk about energy, is it like, oh my God, I can't keep my eyes open? Or is it something that is become a habit that like, oh, at 10 o'clock, you know, me and the girls, we meet and we talk at the water cooler over coffee. And I'm not trying to dismiss that. I just want you to start to recognize what is a habit and what is actually your body saying, hey, I'm tired. Because if your body's saying, hey, I'm tired, we need to then dissect and say, okay, did I get enough sleep? And if I did think I got enough sleep, is it good sleep? You know, am I getting restless in the night? You know, are there other things going on? So it's like really tracking back, like where is this energy void coming from? And the third thing is cravings. So many people talk about cravings. And, I always say to people, cravings are, come from two different things. It could just be your body saying, hey, there is a nutrient that I'm missing, and I'm giving you this craving to tell you I need it. Or craving could be you're thirsty. Craving could be that habit that I talked about, that at 4 o'clock you need that pick-me-up because that's, your way of wasting time. It could be that you're procrastinating something. You're bored, you're feeling stress, you're feeling some emotion that you don't want to deal with, so you're just going to stuff it away with food and make yourself feel better. So those are like the three big pieces that we listen to when we're trying to figure out what it is to feed our body. And like I said, this isn't a slam dunk. So this is like, probably I'd say 3 to 6 month process where you're just feeding yourself food and being like, okay, how do I feel? Okay, how do I feel? And then you're able to learn, because what I want eating for you to be like sleeping. Like, no one told us how to sleep. We just know how to sleep. We're tired, we go to bed. And I want you to feel that same way about food. Like, oh my God, I'm hungry. This is what I'm going to eat. And I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not going to weigh and measure it. I'm just going to be like, I know, because I've been tracking what makes me satisfied. And that's where I want you to eat for. I want you to eat for satisfaction. So, hunger isn't something about willpower. And so many people are like, oh my God, I have no willpower. Willpower is just a word that we put out there when we can't control a situation. We're like, oh, I have no willpower. Where white knuckling it is a sign that something is going on. And that's when you have to decide, like, are you truly hungry? Like, when you're hungry, you'll eat broccoli. You'll eat a plate of onions if you're hungry. If you have a craving, it's something so specific. It just calls your name. It's like, hey girl, I see you, you see me, come on over. And that's something so completely different than being hungry. So it's really kind of getting into the psychology and seeing if it's a pattern, a story that just keeps going on and on over your head, that food is the answer for that. So let me break it down. So when I talk about hunger, so we all have meals. And so when I talk about a meal, I'm going to give you the basic structure of a meal. This isn't saying I want you to follow this verbatim. It is a starting point. It's like if everyone runs a marathon, right? Everyone lines up at the line and everyone runs. You might run faster than me, I might run slower than you, blah, 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 but we all start at the same point. And so this is what I like to, even if you're following a structured diet, use it as a starting point. Use it to give you structure and then make tweaks based on you. All right, so does that make sense? So when I eat, I want to make sure that I have some protein on my plate. I want to have some veggies on my plate, some starchy carbohydrates on my plate, and a good fat on my plate, and some fruit. And I'm not going to get all caught up in the portions. Now at the beginning I will measure just to kind of get a ballpark of where things are. And then I'm going to eat, I'm going to see how I feel. And it takes about 20 minutes before your tummy and your brain have a conversation. I know they're so close, but it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to be like, hey girl, I'm good. Or, be like, hey girl, I'm not so good. And sometimes we don't wait that 20 minutes. So, I know people who are mindless eaters where food's on the table and they just nibble and they don't even know. And then they wonder why they always feel stuffed all the time. And then, think about what's on your plate. Are there multiple processed foods? And by processed foods, I mean some of like the fake vegetarian foods. I'm talking about some of those kind of like packaged meals, those packaged frozen meals that tout themselves as being healthy. Flip that over and look at the sodium level. Flip that over and look at the preservatives that they put inside of it. And start to pick some other choices. And then look at water. Thirst hides is hunger sometimes. So I'm going to look at my water intake and make sure I'm getting enough water in. And then sleep. You know, if I'm sleeping less than 7 hours, my body might be like, hey girl, I'm tired. I need some sleep. And sleep is one of the first things that we're like, you can wait, girl. You can wait. And we like skimp on sleep and say, oh, I can get by. I can get by on blah, blah, blah. I want you to think about thriving on 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And then, you know, that ties into cravings, because if I'm tired, I'm going to want sugary foods. I'm going to want caffeinated foods, because my body's like, if you need me to keep going, I'm going to need some stuff. And, you know, and we're constantly reaching for these quick fixes to give me like energy boost, then I crash. My energy boost, then I crash. My energy boost, then I crash. Oh my gosh, I need 3 Red Bulls now. And it's really thinking about that. The other thing about cravings is like, you know, are you avoiding something? And this is, I want you to think about, it's like in our society, in America, we celebrate with food. You know, you watch any movie and someone gets broken up with and they're like, oh girl, I'm coming over with some Haagen-Dazs and wine. And that's how we soothe ourselves. And if that's a soothing mechanism for you, it's going to be a long, hard battle. And there's a great book called 50 Ways to Soothe Yourself Without Food. And it gives you so many alternatives to do beside, you know, reach for the Haagen-Dazs and reach for the wine when you're having a bad day or having a bad moment, moment in time. Because, you know, when you know that only a certain food's going to fill the hump, that's a craving. And if you find yourself repeating this pattern, it's something that you need to really consider breaking. And it could be just a matter of you sitting down and journaling and getting present about it, or it could be you having a conversation with a professional. It really all depends on that. You know, and I talked about energy. You know, it's just our body's way of looking to keep you going. It's kind of like your gaslight. You know, I'm guilty. I drive and my gaslight comes on and it says 25 miles, I think. And you know, I'm like, all right, I got 25 miles. And then next thing you know, it's 6 miles. And I'm like, holy mother. That's how our energy lights are too, you know. So we get this little like, you're tired, and then we ignore it. You're tired, then we ignore it. And then finally, like, you know, we see that we're 5 miles out and we're like, crap. And you reach for something that's going to give you that another 26 miles. So it's not about following a plan. It's having the patience to be able to see what is working for you, what works for your body. Maybe dairy doesn't work for your body. I don't know. Maybe wheat doesn't work for your body. I don't know. But you know, I agree there's that whole elimination diet just to see what isn't working. But at the end of the elimination diet, they put stuff back in. So it's like, you know, they take out the known irritants in the elimination diet, and then they add them back in one by one by one. So, you know, what I want you to think about is that even though I'm not a big proponent of the scale, research studies show that most people are like, oh, average weight loss is like 1 to 2 pounds a week. And so we just hear 2 pounds. And depending on how far you are from goal, it can be as little as 1/4 pound a week. So if you're someone who's pretty healthy, if you're someone who's probably in that, like, you know, that last 10 pounds, you're probably looking at about 1/4 pound a week, maybe. You might stay steady, but it's 1/4 pound a week. You should do a happy dance. Now, for those of people who are a little further away from goal, you might start to see that 1 to 2 pounds, but know that at some point you're going to get down to that 1/4 pound, that 1/2 pound. And that's when you really need those non-scale victories. That's when you really need to focus on, okay, other than trying to be, you know, down to whatever that goal weight is, and, you know, visualize what will happen when you get there. What's going to happen at the end of that goal? And, you know, it's being flexible with your dieting. And, you know, not looking at carbs, not looking at fats, not looking at fruit. It's looking at everything in a whole, because as humans, we need all of those pieces. It's not, we need carbs. Like people are like, oh, I don't eat any carbs. You need carbs. Carbs are what keeps your brain running. Carbs are what gives you the energy to move. Now, you might need less carbs than I do. I might need more carbs than you. But it's finding what that balance point is. Like if we're on a seesaw, like finding where it is and knowing like, okay, I need to throttle it up or I need to throttle it down. And, pay attention. When I eat food, do I feel bloated? Do I feel full? Do you poop? Do you feel tired? Like, how does your body react when you physically put it in there? Because I had a girl, she's like, oh, I feel bloated all the time. I was like, well, why don't you write me a food journal? But when you're writing the food journal, pay attention to when you're eating, when you start to feel bloated. But she felt bloated when she had coconut oil. There ain't nothing wrong with coconut oil, but it doesn't work for her. Do you see where I'm going? It just doesn't work for her. So it's really about, I call it CSI. We've all seen the TV show CSI, where like they walk in, it's a dead body. And then they piece together how the person got killed. That's your body and your CSI going in and saying, okay, these are all the food experiments I'm doing with my body. What are the outcomes? And and it takes time, but how much time have you spent dieting? How much time have you spent seeking for rules? How much time have you spent seeking for validation outside of you when your body's been saying, hey girl, I need this, or hey girl, no, we're good. And just listening, just straight up listening to your body and hearing what it has to tell you because it's talking. And sometimes, for us, like we only hear when our body screams. So for example, heart attack. We're like, oh my gosh, I got to change my world, but there's always like simple, subtle cues that are happening to us all the time. And I want you to kind of, pay attention to yourself. If you've ever asked that question, what the hell do I eat? Then you have to wonder, are you a program seeker? Are you willing to be a beginner? Are you willing to bump and fall and be like a toddler where like learning to walk? Are you willing to go there? And I asked that because I had to go back to being a beginner. For 15 years I ate the same way. 15 years. And my world got rocked 2 months ago. And I'm a complete beginner. It is messy as all get out. I get frustrated. I am like, I have my wall kicking moments. But I know where my end goal is. I know where I want to be. And I know that in order to get there, I got to go through the mud. I got to go through the muck. And it stinks. And I just want it to be done. I want it to be over. But, as they say, there is a blessing in every curse. There is a blessing. So I'm looking for the blessing. And be present in the moment. Like I used to be a past person. I used to be like, 2 years ago, this is what I look like, and this is how I eat, and this is how I was, and blah 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 blah. And if I just redid that same exact thing, this is what's gonna happen to me right now. My body's changed. I'm 2 years older. Like there's just I can't go back to 2-year-old Kim. I can't. Like 2-year-old Kim's body is not going to happen anymore. I might come close, but do I want to go to the level of dieting that I did to get there? Do I even want to say the word dieting in my language? Do I want to become that like crazy psychotic person I used to be? No, not at all. And so then you have to kind of think about your future. So many of you like, so focused on like, oh my God, February's coming in, I want to be in a bikini. February's coming in, I want to be in a bikini. And you're just like, I got to do it right now. I have to go right now. It has to be hard. It has to be fast. It has to be go, 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 go because February's coming. Where, what if I just was like, in the here and now, I ate and I felt satisfied. And I know that when I take small, consistent steps, I'm going to hit my goal. There's calm and there's ease. Life doesn't have to be a struggle. Life doesn't have to be, I have to diet hard, I have to work out hard. Like, oh, who has the time? Who has the mental space to do all that? And, we also have that inner mean girl who's like, you ate this, and this, and you didn't work out this, and this, and this, and you gotta, and you're like going, 20 rounds with Mike Tyson in your head. And, one of the best things is a woman by the name of Byron Katie, and she has a thing called The Work, and it's 4 simple questions that can just help you shut down anything. It can shut down absolutely anything. And one of the things is, is it true? Yes or no? Yes or no, is it true? And then the next question is, do you know for certain? Do you know for certain that it's true? And then, it's like really just, it makes you pause. It makes you take notice in the moment and get you out of yourself when you ask those questions. And sometimes you need to just get out of yourself, take a step back, breathe, regroup, recover, because we get so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs up in there. And, change up your eating. For me, I ate variety, but I ate in the basic same pattern all the time. So this is just completely like blowing my world up. So are you willing to blow your world up to see what's possible for you? Because maybe eating the way you're eating is why you're not getting results. I don't know. But as always, the show notes are available at fabfitsquad.com/live-tv. I'm also available on Instagram, Facebook, FabFitSquad. I will be back again on November the 8th. And on November the 8th, I'll be talking about how do you survive the holiday season. We got Turkey Day coming up, we got Hanukkah, we got Kwanzaa, and Christmas. So how do you survive that? So thank you guys so much. I love all of your feedback. If there's ever a comment or a suggestion that you want, you know how to hit me up on my website. And the show notes again are available at fabfitsquad.com/live-tv. Have a fantabulous evening, and I'll talk to you guys on the 8th.